Okay, so in the background we've got a gameplay where, a little spoiler, I think you've actually seen more gameplays of me getting wrecked than gameplays of me winning. But yes, this gameplay in the background, unfortunately, my team gets smashed and crushed to pieces and swallowed and spat out and then crushed again and swallowed and spat out again. And unfortunately, you know, again, I'm the dominant player on my team. I'm putting in all the work and it just ends up with a complete fail. And what happens at the end is quite frustrating for me, and I've found that this has really annoyed me. It's regarding taunts and gestures and things like that. Now, we know that the Call of Duty community, to be fair, and I've got to be careful when I say this, because when you say certain things like they are toxic, so, you know, some people will watch that and say, he's talking about me. You know, I'm part of the Call of Duty community, and he's saying I'm toxic. I'm not toxic. I will dislike this video and I will send you a nasty comment. No, it's not based, and it's not sort of pointed at everybody, but what I'm trying to say is some people are very toxic, and it seems that more people are toxic than not. Now, I don't know whether that's a youth thing, whether it's just a young person's thing, where they haven't had enough experience in life to understand a fair game and things like that. But I always find with Call of Duty, the community and some of the people I've seen, the way they play, the way they act, the way they respond to things, the messages you get, they're quite a toxic community, to be fair. And it's not just Call of Duty, it's also Counter-Strike. I've noticed people on Counter-Strike are absolutely awful. Some of the things I've heard people say, I don't speak on PC, but some of the things I've heard people saying to each other are pretty damn nasty. And I guess, I don't know whether it's just me getting older, whether I hear things like, I think, oh, well, could you say that? That's somebody's son, that's somebody's mother. I don't know. But, you know, you hear some things and you almost can't unhear them. Rainbow Six is another one. I bought Rainbow Six the other week. And my first game playing it, I thought it should be all right. My daughter was sitting there. She's 7 years old. She was playing Minecraft on the Kindle, and I thought, I'm going to put. Do you mind if I put no, put it on, Dad. Put your game on. I thought, fantastic. I'll have a nice quiet game of this. No Call of Duty, because I don't play Call of Duty in front of her because it's just too much for me. You know, I can't contain my rage a lot of the time. But I put in Rainbow Six. I thought this should be quite nice. Should be quite safe and relaxed and calm and controlled. And obviously I dropped straight into a game, did not have a clue what I was doing because I didn't go through any tutorials, so it was sort of like a learning curve for me. But I picked it up quite quickly because it's no different to any other first-person shooter apart from a couple of things. And I was cruising around and I got a couple of kills, I was happy with that. And all of a sudden it became 1 versus 3 and I was the last man standing. Now, it must have been some kind of like demolition game or something like that, because it said the enemy have planted the bomb. And there was this timer ticking down, so I'm kind of dashing around, where's this bomb, where's this bomb? I don't know where to look, not having a clue what I was doing. And all of a sudden I saw this thing flashing on the floor. And I thought, is that a bomb? That's a bomb. That's the bomb. There we go. I've done it. I've sussed it. I'm going to defuse that bomb, and I will have saved the day, and everybody will rejoice and hold me up in the air as their new king of Rainbow Six. No. What actually happened was I picked up a ballistic vest of some sort and started to try it on. And while I was trying it on, I was stood still trying this vest on. Now, I didn't know what I was doing, and obviously there was a few seconds left on the clock. The bomb was about 3 foot away from me without me realising, and the bomb exploded. We lost the round, and I died because I was so close to the bomb. Now, a result of what happened of that was that there was 2 guys who, you know, didn't take the time to look and see that was a level 1 or a level 0 or whatever it is you start at. And they started throwing out the most loudest, cantankerous curses towards me. Absolutely raging, throwing fits of rage my way. Now, obviously, the first thing I did was literally drop my controller, throw my controller in the air, run towards the PlayStation and turn it off, and look towards my daughter, who was just staring at me in absolute shock with her hand over her mouth, going, oh, Daddy said bad words. Why did he say that? What? And I had to explain. Silly people. Getting over competitive. Oh, Daddy doesn't understand what he's doing. I don't get what I'm doing, Bab. You know, and he didn't understand that. I didn't take time to see that I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm a level 1, and I'm just learning the, you know, the curve of the game. And of course, wife in the kitchen cooking away heard all this, came in, and I got shouted at for it. I was the one who got beasted for that. Wasn't my fault. Probably was my fault for playing in front of my daughter and giving the community the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, toxic language, toxic community, toxic attitude towards a player who didn't know what he was doing. Now, going back to this gameplay in the background, obviously I am trying my best You know, there's players on my team who end up doing terrible, and for whatever reason they just didn't do the best, and the other team, even though we were kind of leading for a bit, the other team get the better of us and get the win. Now obviously I was frustrated because I'd put everything, every ounce of my worth in. But when it gets to the, you know, to the sort of end screen where you've got your first, second and third place, I always kind of think to myself, I hope there's going to be a couple of guys there, or at least one who will turn around and give it the clap, you know, the congratulations gesture. Not a boast, not a threat, not a taunt, but a well done, you know, a nice clap or a bow to me and say, well done, you tried your best, you was a good player, you were a tough adversary, but we did win. So I will follow that clap on with a little bit of a dance, just to say, look how well I did. Do you think that's what I got? No. Now that disappoints me, because whenever I play, and if I play against a team who are very good and they're sort of giving me a good run for their money, but we happen to get the win, or you know, maybe the other team are terrible, they're getting absolutely flattened, but there's one guy on that team who is trying his best, probably like me, being a bit of a tryhard, I don't know, but he's trying his best, he's trying to pull it out of the bag for his team and trying to get it so that they can hang their heads a little bit higher than drooping them down staring at their shoes. When it gets to the final screen, if I'm anywhere in that top 3, I will take the time to give them a clap, a cheer, a bow, or whatever unusual. There's a couple of ones in there that don't, you know, look like you're boasting almost. There's one that I've got for my profit, which is sort of like taking a phone out and taking a couple of selfies, which almost looks like I'm going, hey, look at me, I'm so beautiful and amazing. And it's like, no, I actually did that to say to the other team, well done. It probably didn't come across that way, but it just makes me think, these taunts and these gestures, even though they were a great idea at first, they almost really amplify how toxic this community is. That people will take that win and not think to themselves, do you know what, I'm going to be a good sportsman here and say, well done, bravo. You know, it does happen sometimes, and when it happens I get this little sense of pride for that person that did it, and I think, thank you, you know, that's kind of you didn't have to thank me, but you did. Do you know what, if you lose the next game, I will throw that respect back at you, brother. 9 times out of 10, no, people like to roll up their sleeve, shove their fist up your ass, right up to the elbow, and puppet you, you know, make you look stupid. Look at what we did, we flattened you. I will perform this dance in your honour, at your failures. And I've got to be honest, I don't know about you, but it makes me rage, it makes me try harder the next game, because all I want to do then is, you know, like a little child, just return it. I don't care how well they do, I just want to return the nastiness their way and say, well, you think you can taunt me? You wait till we win the next one. I will, in fact, what's my worst boast? And then I'll go into my character and I'll try and find the worst taunt and the worst boast. Like I say, I'm a Tempest. I've got the one where he's flicking the cash at the audience. Look at this, flicking out the cash towards people, as if to say, you paupers, look how much money I've got. You've got none of this. Pick it up off the floor. I'll try and find that one and fire it back in their direction. So I almost become part of the problem as well. And anybody dropping into my game would look and go, look at this prick throwing money my way. You wait till we win, I'll fire it back at you. I don't know, que sera sera. It just pisses me off, and I think it almost amplifies even more, without words or without sending messages to each other, how toxic this community are, because they abuse these unpleasant taunts and gestures. I don't know, are you a congratulator or a taunter? Or do you congratulate then taunt and say, hey, well done, but we won. Bend over, the puppet master's here. Yeah, apocalypse done.